Hello guys. Good afternoon to everyone. I think we can start already. While waiting for them, we can start already. So habang malakas-lakas pang aking internet connectivity. Okay, so we are already on unit 2, no? This will be the start pala guys of our midterm topic, no? Guys, naririnig ako?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Yan kasi nawawala na naman yung presentation ko. Okay. So again, before my connectivity will again start to deteriorate, I think we need to start already, you know. So our topic for this day, the scheduled lecture today will be covering the continuation, no? Tuloy ko yung topic ko on module 3. So I will name it module 3.1. Um, this is to continue our topic on innovative policing, no? Innovative policing, specifically the community policing, kasi dito nag-start yung mga topics natin with regards to policing. Some of the policing system, no, that we're going to cover today are really not did not originated from our country, but rather had originated in some other countries, no? But some of them, as we can see, had been already adopted, no? Nakuha na natin yung iba sa mga ito, or ginagawa na natin yung iba sa mga napasali dito sa innovative policing natin. And then why we call it innovative policing, by the way, no? It's not really a part of the regular way on how law enforcement agencies or performing their tasks in terms of policing. Kaya nga sinabi nating innovative, makabago, no? Kasi ito ay binibigyan na ng pansin yung mga bagay-bagay na hindi usually natin nakikita or nabibigyan ng importansya, no? Such as the following, ano? Anyway, we discussed naman na yung sa deployment of law enforcement professional, no, to work in around school, the integration of the police officers to school facilities, no, especially sa mga high school. In other countries kasi there are a lot of how do you call this, school violence, no, school-based violence, 'di ba? May mga nangyayari dito sa mga schools na to na kung saan hindi usually nabibigyan ng importansya kasi nga they seem to be considered as a little, no, little issues. But for the broader perspective of the concept of policing, itong mga tingin natin maliliit na bagay na nangyayari sa ating community, nangyayari sa school, sa mga different social institutions such as yan, unang-una schools, yung mga nangyayari dyan might affect the general state of the crime rate, no? The crime problem in our country, no? Okay, so as I'm stating, we are on the concept of innovative policing. We are trying to assess the different matters that are not being taken into consideration or are not being taken seriously because they are deemed to be less important in a sense, da? So with regards to this, we discussed already 1 to 3, no? I'm just going to read them. Deployment of law enforcement professional to work in and around the schools, no? We have seen this already happening, pero ang napansin ko kasi, no, karamihan ng nilalagay usually dito yung mga nasa ano pa lang sila, nasa training. 'Di ba? I've seen police officers being deployed in the school vicinity, no, sa harap ng school, pero ang nilalagay kasi dito yung mga FTP, no, yung mga uh, police officers who are yet to be who are still doing their field training exercises or programs. So yung mga nag-FTP pa lang, sila yung usually nakikita natin sa sa field. Na, I mean, not sa field, but specifically doon sa ating malapit sa mga school facility or vicinities. That's actually not a problem naman. That's not actually a problem naman. But then it should be sustained for longer time, no? Hindi yung for 6 months or for 3 months lang nandun sila. Dapat nandun talaga, nakabantay, nakantabay, or part of the stakeholder na kumbaga ng mga schools natin, yung mga law enforcers. So they can serve as consultant in terms of law breaking, in terms of policy making, specifically talking about the peace and order inside the school campus. Dapat meron talagang participation ng mga law enforcers sa mga ganong bagay. They know better with regards to the position of policies, with regards to the creation of rules inside the school, no, prohibition of some acts. They know better, no? So that's why the different policing strategies that they are trying to inculcate, no, to impose, no, to the different community policing program is the deployment of law enforcement professionals doon sa mga school visits. Okay. So next is additional officers are needed to effectively respond to street crimes, no? Yung mga street crimes naman na yan, no, are really very rampant na nako-commit. You know, majority of the crimes are being committed in the street or on the street level, such as halimbawa pickpocketing, yung mga pandurukot na yan, no? Alam ng ating kapulisan na maraming nangyayaring ganyan sa kanilang area, no? So they should be taken seriously. Huwag mo sabihin, snatching lang naman yan, no? Mugging lang naman yan, no? Mga tambay-tambay lang naman sila dyan sa mga kalsada na yan. It has a big implication really to the peace and order of the community kung meron nag-exist ng mga problems na to. That's why additional officers must be deployed on the street, no? So as they can serve as a deterrent to would-be criminals, and they can serve as the protector of the society in a sense that they are always there, no, ready to help, no, ready to assist assist the community whenever they are needed, no? And the use of technology to put more officers in neighborhood, that is also I think being adopted right now by the PNP itself. Now, since we discussed 1 to 3 already, ano, na-discuss na natin yan, kaya pinahapyawan ko na lang, we will focus now on the number 4 until number 10. That would be build the future without bullying, reduce vandalism. These are the strategies that some police law enforcement agencies are adopting already. But before we proceed on to those different innovative policing strategies, now I think we need to discuss this principle first, no? Yung tinatawag nila ito the broken window principle, no? Have you heard about the broken window principle, no? Or sabi minsan nila dito, the broken window theory. It is a principle in criminology, that relies on the idea of the apathy of the society. Di ba? Pag ang society kasi walang pakialam, no? Walang pakialam sa nangyayari sa kanilang paligid, the implication of that is that mas nagiging malakas ang loob ng mga criminal na ito na gawin yung kanilang evil actions, because they know that the society, the community does not care, does not bother to do anything about it, no? So, iyan yung minsan nagiging dahilan kung bakit meron tayong pagtaas ng krimen. One of the theory in criminology, di ba yung tinatawag natin the effect of migration, no, to the criminality, no, of a certain area. Alam nyo, ito napansin ko on my personal observation, since I really do want to observe these things and try to assess whether the theories that we have really has valid, it's valid in a street level maybe, no, in a community level. There is this theory kasi, sabi niya pag doon sa isang lugar, mas marami or maraming tao na hindi magkakakilala, I mean, pwedeng galing sila sa magkakaibang tribes, no? pwedeng galing sila sa magkakaibang lugar, which is the very nature doon sa area kung saan ako tumira for a long time, no? Which is, ang nature kasi doon is that mga dayo karamihan ang nakatira doon. Mga galing sa ibang lugar na doon nagtrabaho, doon lang na-assign, kaya nandun sila. In short, in that neighborhood, wala tayo yung closeness in ties, no? Walang, hindi gaya ng, probably, ito yung nakasanayan yung uri ng neighborhood, no? Yung, kumbaga, is may pakialam sa yung kapitbahay mo, no? Alam nyo na kung saan is, when something, some people is looking suspicious within that neighborhood, nalalaman agad kasi alam nila kung sino-sino yung mga nakatira doon, alam nila kung sino yung mga bagong mukha. No? So, that is an advantage actually of a neighborhood. Kaya nga meron yung concept ng neighborhood watch kasi you protect your neighbors and they will protect you too. That's the very concept of the neighborhood watch. But then, in an area na kung saan hindi mo kakilala kapitbahay mo, no? Minsan-minsan mo lang siya makita, hindi mo pa nakakausap. Sa mga ganong areas, usually nagkakaroon ng maraming krimen, no? Doon nagkakaroon ng halimbawa, akyat bahay, no? Bakit nagkakaroon ng ganun? Bakit wala bang nakapansin? Paano? No? Pwedeng napansin nila, pero ang problema doon is hindi nila kilala kung sino nakatira doon. So, it seems like they don't have the moral obligation to report or protect, no? Their neighbors in that sense kasi number one, they don't have ties or close ties to that person. Number two, he is not sure probably if the one, no, na nakita niya is the owner of the house or not, no? That's the problem, no, pag meron tayong massive migration. Kaya if we're looking at criminality within a neighborhood, if we are going to compare rural and urban areas, mas mataas talaga doon sa mga urban areas kasi nga first, hindi talaga magkakakilala yung mga nakatira doon, no? And dahil hindi sila magkakakilala, no, the lesser the it's less compelling for them to mingle with those scenarios, no, na kung saan is halimbawa may umaalikid, no? They don't meddle because hindi nila kilala baka mamaya kamag-anak kakilala niya pala yon, and baka mamaya ikapahamak niya pa. Yan yung tinitingnan natin. Now, the broken window naman, the broken window principle argues that, ito yung metaphor niya, the metaphor of the broken window is that if a window is broken, sabi niya nga, if a window is broken and left unchecked, I mean left unrepaired, people walking by will conclude that no one cares, wala silang pakialam, and no one is in charge, no one bothers to fix the broken window, di ba? Kung makikita mo sa lugar, wala na, dami-daming dami-daming kalat. Anong iisipin mo? Na? Halimbawa, meron kang, ito lang, simple example. No? Meron kang daladalang basura. Okay? You're looking for a trash can. Kasi doon mo sana itatapon. No? You're looking for a trash can, but you're looking in your immediate surrounding. Wala kang mahanap na trash can. Nakita mo yung mga basura dyan, plastic bottles, wrappers, nagkalat lang sa paligid. What do you think will you do? No? May hawak-hawak ka na basura. Now, when are you going to pick the trashes? Pulutin mo kaya yung mga basura? Or are you going to keep yung trash na hawak-hawak mo hanggang makahanap ka ng trash yan? Or number 3, itapon mo na rin lang dyan. So talaga na naman palang ginagawa nila, di ba? Parang it's normal naman na magkalat ng basura within that area. Something like that. No? So you're getting the point? Kumbaga kung nakikita ng mga tao sa paligid na parang wala naman palang pakialam ang community na to. No? Kapag ginawa ko to, kapag nagtapon halimbawa ako ng basura dito, wala naman palang may pakialam. Kasi kung may pakialam sila, wala dapat nagkalat na basura dito, correct? Now, if we're going to compare that into an area na kung saan, yan, may basura ka ulit na dala-dala, no, gusto mong itapon, nakita mo sa paligid, maayos lahat, no? Walang nakakalat na basura. Okay? Nakita mo sa mga poste-poste, may nakalagay dyan, bawal magtapon ng basura. May multa. Mga ganun ba? So with that, you will know that there is an order. May order dyan sa area na yan. Merong sinusunod na patakaran, merong sinusunod na batas. Question, would you dare? No? Would you dare throw your trash just anywhere? No? Kaya mo kaya or gagawin mo kaya, makonvince ka kaya na iwan, itapon mo lang yung basurang hawak mo sa kung saan. If you know the places like that, very ordered sila, wala kang makitang basurang nagkalat, no? May mga karatula dyan na nakalagay, bawal magtapon ng basura and so on. So if we are going to compare the two circumstances that I mentioned, no? Ano yung mapapansin natin? The first one, the society shows or manifest through their actions that they don't care. They are not bothered. No one is in charge kasi no one is imposing a law, no one is imposing rules, no one is imposing any policies at all. No? And definitely if somebody would violate, they won't bother. On the second circumstances that I mentioned, no, it is being manifested that the society in that area really cares and really bothers about the simple about those violations or activities, no? So on a criminal perspective, no, kung sa isip ng isang kriminal, saan kaya siya more likely magko-commit ng uh, crime? No? Saan kaya siya magko-commit ng crime? On the first society, society A, or society B? Siyempre, kung ako ang kriminal, doon ako magtatapon ng basura sa lugar na kung saan walang may pakialam. Kasi I will not feel guilty, then they won't bother. No, they won't bother going after me kasi nga dami-dami nga nagkalat na basura diyan and so on. Bakit pa nila ako hahabulin? Parang ganun. So that's the very concept of the broken window principle, that if the society shows that they don't even bother about these things happening in their surroundings, then it is likely, that the area will be infested by criminality. They will be infested by evil people who would try to exploit the weaknesses of such society. No? Another thing is that broken window simply, broken window is a simple, it's a metaphor for simple things, di ba? It's just a window. Bintana lang naman yan. No one cares, no? But then that simple thing can lead into more serious issues, no? It could lead to more serious issues. From a simple act, if not taken into consideration, yung mga maliliit na bagay na yan, pag hindi nga binibigyan ng halaga, how much more yung malalaking bagay na kaya? No? Would you think that, for example, ako may-ari ng bahay na nabasag yung bintana ko, I would repaint my house and whatsoever, but I will not fix the window? Pwede kaya yun? No? Na pwedeng ipaayos ng isang may-ari ng bahay yung halimbawa yung pintura, yung bubong, pero yung bintana hindi niya magawa ng paraan? No. Kasi if a person will try to address big issues, no, big matters, he would easily address also the small things like for example a broken window, no? Kaya ang pinapalabas ng ganitong instances, kung may mga ganyan, kung hindi nga nila maayos yung kanilang patakaran, yung kanilang polisiya sa mga maliliit na bagay, like for example sa pagkakalat ng basura, how much more the big issues, no? So it really is describing a society that is unaccountable, na walang accountability doon sa area, walang may pakialam, no one is taking responsibility for maintaining peace and order in that area. So that's less likely possible na magkaroon tayo ng effective policing doon sa area na yan. Rather, magkakaroon tayo ng mas malaking problema in terms of criminality. No? So, that's the very ground or that's the very foundation of the things that we will be discussing today. No? Like for example, ayan, topic number 1, continuation of 3.1, build a future without bullying. Let's say, for example, the broken window here is bullying. Yan. If in a certain society, in a certain community, since we're talking about community policing, if in a certain community, no one cares about bullying, wala nga silang ginagawang paraan para matigil, masuppress ang bullying, what do you think will happen? Bullying can be a route, to more serious offenses. Kaya nga sabi natin, it's very important that there should be an integration between the law enforcer to the different schools. Why? Because one of the factors that affect criminality is the existence of bullying. Bullying is unending. What will be the impact of bullying? Pwedeng magkaroon tayo ng more serious crime. Kasi ano ba yung nature ng bullying? Ano ba yan? Emotional, financial, physical, which if we try to understand criminality, they have the same target. Pag nang bully ka, sino ang ibubully mo? Yung less likely lalaban, correct? Yung vulnerable. That's true. If you are a criminal, who would you victimize? Yung less likely lalaban din. Yung very vulnerable, yung kaya mong i-overpower. So the concept of bullying is the same with criminality. So if you are trying to address criminality but not these small things like bullying, what do you think will happen? Will you be effective? Kumbaga yung pambubully na yan, that is already the start of the career of a criminal. Mind you that there is really a correlation between bullies and criminals. Kasi at the early age, at the early stage of their life, they're learning already how to exploit the weaknesses of others through bullying. What is the tendency or what is the likelihood that they will not do the same when they grow up? Kaya nga sabi doon sa juvenile delinquency, delinquent of today are the criminals of tomorrow. Yung mga delinquenteng kabataan ngayon, ay magiging kriminal sa hinaharap. I'm not saying that all, It's very, I would rather be wrong, Gustuhin ko nang maging mali ako than it would be true, Kaya nga yung mga, for example, those members of gangs at their early age, what future relies on them, yung mga nakikipagrambulan sa kalye, yung suntukan nakikipaghabulan sa mga barangay tanod, what do you think will be their future if they continue, if there is no intervention be done into their cases? Like bullying. Kung walang intervention mangyayari dyan, what do you think will happen? There will be school violence. Kasi it involves violence, yung conduct of bullying na yan. So if it was not, or if the society or the community do not address such simple issues, it could evolve into more serious issues. The very concept of bullying na lang is very threatening to the society. Bakit kasi may mga bullies na yan? Bakit kasi may mga taong ganyan? You will also, you could probably include also here the causation of delinquent behavior. Bakit kaya may mga ganyang tao na ganito ang pag-uugali? What do you think are the reason? What do you think are the reason? Siyempre, the same as the reason as like for example, it could be poverty, it could be drug addiction, it could be criminality within the family, and so on. So this is a very small problem, to the bigger, to the broader concept of criminality. But not because it is very small problem, we should not take it into consideration. Kaya, for example, you will become a future a law enforcer already, and you see someone who is being bullied or who is bullying someone, try to intervene. Why? Because it has more implication, malaki kasi ang implication kapag ang society tinotolerate yung mga ganitong behavior, no? Hinahayaan nila yung mga bata doon, nag-i-involve into rambulan, nag-i-involve into pangungutong, nag-i-involve into pickpocketing and so on. Wala na, no? The very concept of the social institution or the very purpose of the community itself is already deteriorating in that case. So, what should the law enforcement agency focus on to in terms of community policing? One of the thing that they should look into is bullying. Yan. So they should address bullying. I believe naman meron, no? Kasi I've seen some of the programs of the PNP that they will be going to schools, no, wherein they will be conducting a lecture regarding bullying, no, magkakandak sila diyan ng mga educational lecture na kung saan tatalakayin nila yung batas on bullying, how to avoid bullying and so on. And me myself, when I was still teaching in a private school, has been invited for many times for to talk about the bullying, the issues on bullying alongside with the guidance office, no, to younger audience, no, sa amin. Kasi there is meron din nag-offer din dati yung tuturuan ko ng senior high school and junior high school. So we are being invited to talk about the concept of bullying, how would they avoid it, and so on. Now, that is that's one of the strategies, of course, to educate the younger generations about the bad side of bullying, about the risk factor of bullying, and so on. So I believe, no, kasi in one of that instances, I noticed that also the police officers are being involved into the anti-bullying campaign, no? So meron din sila mga ginagawang program in relation to that, which is a good way of addressing criminality from its roots, no? Doon sa pinakaugat pa lang, doon nila binabanatan. So it's not always reactive, no? Conducting an educational drive regarding bullying is a proactive program that is very how do you call this, no, na magbibigay ng magandang resulta, no, sa laban ng ating kapulisya, laban ng ating mga kapulisan sa paglaganap ng krimen, no. So that's one, build a future without bullying, no. So we should always, or all of us should be anti-bullying we should be a anti-bullying person. We should not tolerate the concept of bullying because that is the start already of delinquency, and delinquency will be the start of criminality. Okay? Next, reduce vandalism. Bakit? No? Vandalism is not a serious matter. Maybe these are just group of youngster na kung saan mahilig magsulat-sulat sa mga pader, sa mga public places and so on. Is this really a serious problem? Again, no? Broken window. No? If an area is there's a lot of graffiti na mga sulat-sulat sa mga pader, may mga signs, may mga bad words na nakasulat doon. What is the implication of that? Ano ang pwedeng maging implication niyan? Halimbawa, ikaw bilang isang tao, isang mamamayan, pumunta ka sa isang lugar na kung saan nakita mo, pagpunta mo pa lang doon, nakita mo na yung mga pader, puro vandal, no? Puro sulat-sulat ng mga gangster symbol, gang sign, no? Mga bad words, mga evil words, mga kung ano-ano pa na mga nakasulat diyan sa kung saan-saang pader, no? Kung saan-saang lugar and so on. Ano yung iisipin mo? Are you going to think that that is a safe environment or a safe community? Isipin mo okay dito no? Very artistic ang mga tao. I feel safe. Okay? Or hindi naman kaya other way around, pagpunta mo pa lang doon, mapaatras ka na, no? Pagpunta mo pa lang doon, hinigpitan mo na ang hawak sa bag mo. Pagpunta mo pa lang doon, binulsa mo na yung cellphone mo, tinago mo na yung alahas mo, and so on. Would that be your reaction? It's natural to react that way. Kasi these things, mga vandalism, mga vandals na yan, implicates that in that society, there is no peace and order. No? Kasi if there is really a peace and order in that community, why cannot they control these things? Bakit hindi nila pigilan, arestuhin, no, pagsabihan yung mga kabataan na gumagawa nito? No, bakit hindi nila disiplinahin yung mga kabataan na gumagawa nito? Ibig sabihin lang, hinahayaan lang ng community na yan na gawin ng mga batang ito yung mga gusto nilang gawin to the point that they are already destroying the image of the community. No? Kasi yung mga gangs ay yung mga symbols ng mga vandals yan, it's a mark, no? It's a mark of a certain territory, of a certain group, of a certain gang, and so on, di ba? Parang hayop lang yan, na kung saan ang hayop, di ba, pag mag-iiwan ng bakas, iihian niya yung paligid. Para pag naamoy ng ibang hayop, sasabihin, merong boss dito. Merong may-ari sa teritoryo na to. Ganyan din ang nature ng mga tao, ano? Especially if they are, yung mga gangs na yan, magli-leave sila ng mark para pagpasok mo doon, it's a warning already that that is under the territory of someone, of some organization or some group. No? So if this exists, ibig sabihin, there is really a deterioration onto the peace and order in that area. So that really implicates now that in that area, the law, the policies, no, are not implemented well. Okay? It's not being implemented well. Kasi kung nai-implement talaga siya, hindi mag-e-exist yung mga yan. Hindi mag-e-exist yung mga gangs na yan, hindi mag-e-exist yung mga vandals na yan, and so on. So, for us to make a better community, no, the law enforcement agency should address also these things. No? It's a crime, of course, to, put yung mga ganyang mga destructive writings, destructive drawings, and so on in places that are not allowed to be. No? Sa mga kung saan yan. Bawal yan. So, merong batas na nagbabawal dyan. Dapat ini-implement nila yan para makita. No? Kasi pagpunta mo doon sa isang lugar, walang ganyan. Walang mga posters, walang mga vandals, walang mga gangs na nandoon, walang mga tambay. What does it mean? Ibig sabihin, doon sa area na yan, napapatupad talaga ang batas, no? At sumusunod ang mga tao. So, maayos kumbaga ang lugar na yan. No? Maayos kumbaga ang community na yan. It's a safe environment. But if it is infested with different gangs, bundles, and so on, think twice. No? Mag-ingat ka na. Kasi nga, those are symbols of a disorganized society. Okay? Next. Reclaims distressed neighborhood. We are talking about already a distressed neighborhood. No? Sira na. I mean, di ba, pinag-uusapan na natin. If doon sa area na yan, they're infested with vandals, they're infested with gangs and so on, that is already a sign that that area, that neighborhood is already under distress. No? So what should the police officer do? The police officer should gather information, identify the main problem, no? Conduct numerous activities that would address the problem, that would try to determine kung ano nga ba yung mga nangyayari diyan. So we have a lot of yung mga usap-usap, mga ganon, yung mga community events that the police officer could go there and have a consultation with the community kung ano-ano yung mga nangyayari diyan, no? Magkaroon man lang sila ng patrol, and while conducting patrol, syempre magkakaroon na rin dyan ng interaction within the community wherein they're going to conduct yung mga informal interviews, no? Yung mga ganun. No, kasi meron tayo talagang mga nangyayari na kung saan is when the society no longer trusts the police officers and they're trying to hide the activities that are happening in that area, that is already a big problem. As long as the community, sabi ko nga, still report kung ano yung mga nangyayari. Halimbawa, merong nakawan na nangyayari, merong bugbugan na nangyayari, may mga kahina-hinalang mga taong pumapasok sa kanilang community, maganda yan. Take advantage of that. No? Ang magiging problema na yan kapag totally they are under the control of a certain group already, under a certain organized crime, criminal organization, and so on, yun na yung magiging problema. Kasi mahihirapan ng pasukin ng kapulisan, no, yung mga areas na yan. No? Kasi the sympathy is no longer within the police officers. So what should they do? They should reclaim this. No? At bago pa man mapasakamay, makontrol ng mga criminal organization na to ang isang area, the police officer should do already a program that would prevent such thing from happening. No? So they should address these different problems in criminality. Halimbawa, there are a lot of cases na nangyayari dyan na pagnanakaw, pang-i-snatch, panturukot. No? What the police officers are doing? No? Anong ginagawa nila? Ba't hinahayaan nilang mag-exist yung mga yan? Kung hahayaan kasi mag-exist yung mga yan, mas lalaki ng lalaki ang problema, no? To the point that the police officer can no longer go inside that area. Alam mo, may mga bansa talaga na kung saan is may mga areas sa ating bansa, historical facts na kung saan takot ang mga pulis pumunta sa isang lugar na yan. Bakit? Kasi kontrolado na yan ng mafia, kontrolado na yan ng mga cartels, kontrolado na yan ng mga criminal organizations, and so on. So, hihintayin mo po bang maging ganyan ang circumstances? Na? Hihintayin mo po ba na mapasa-control ng mga criminal yung area na yan? No. No? That's why before it will turn into that circumstances, it's very important already to establish a relationship between the police officer and the community. No, para nang sa ganun, habang hindi pa total control ng criminal organization yung area, magawan na nila ng paraan para ma-reclaim nila yung isang neighborhood na yan. You know, that's very problematic. No? Hindi man siguro nila ma-realize the implication of such thing, but then, if that is possible in one neighborhood, that would be possible for a bigger neighborhood. Maybe, no? Maybe it's not only neighborhood, o malay mo isang baryo na yan. No? Kung pwedeng mangyari yan sa isang baryo na kung saan kaya palang mapasakamay, no, ng isang criminal organization ang control sa isang barangay, ibig sabihin, pwede rin yan sa municipality. Municipality, provincial, regional, no? What if that could happen nationwide already? So, from these simple issues that I'm talking about, no, as mentioned by our reference, there is really a bigger problem, no, that we should address. So again, having a distressed neighborhood seems like a broken window to me, no? Para siguro sa kapulisan na iisipin nila that, bahala kayo. Kung gusto nyong magtiwala, kung prinoprotektahan nyo ang mga criminal organization sa area na yan, bahala kayo. No, that's not the case. No? Because the existence of such is a failure on the part of the law enforcement. No? The police officer should ask, bakit mas nagtitiwala sila sa criminal kesa sa kapulisan? No? So, the effort should come to the law enforcement agencies, no, to take actions kasi they know better. They should be the initiator in taking action in order to reclaim this type of neighborhood from the control from the control of this criminal organization. It's very important. No? It's very important. Next, automates process to put officers on patrol. No? As I was reading this, I realized that the Philippine National Police had already made an action to make this happen. Ano ba yung tinatawag natin yan? Kasi under the objectives, kasi ang objectives ng automation of the process, no, is to put officers more on the field. No? Like for example, objective number 1, reduce the time patrol spent or patrol officers spent away from field preparing reports. So, what if there is a process already? What if there is someone or some program that sila na ang gagawa ng report mo? Na kung saan, since hindi ka na masyadong mapapagod or hindi ka na masyadong mag-consume ng maraming time sa paggawa ng report mo, mas marami ka ng time na ilalaan sa pagpapatrol mismo doon sa field, which is much better, di ba? Now, if you can remember, if you had probably noticed, the creation of the NUP or the non-uniform personnel, in the PNP. What's their purpose? They are primarily hired to take on some of the task, office or administrative tasks of the police officer. Kasi ang gusto ng PNP organization, ang mga kapulisan, ang mga police officers, trained yung mga yan sa pag-conduct talaga ng mga police activities. And mas maganda na nandoon sila sa field than nandoon lang sila sa office. Correct? Alam natin na may mga administrative tasks kasi ang mga kapulisan, di ba? Kailangan nilang gumawa ng report, kailangan nilang mag-issue ng police clearance, kailangan nilang mag-submit ng mga dokumento regarding their activities, achievement, action plan, and so on. So, yun yung mga administrative tasks. Now, you probably know this since you're a criminology student, that hindi sapat ang ating kapulisan. Mukha lang silang marami, but if we're going to look into the ratio between police officer and the community, kulang pa, Kulang pa. The ideal is at least 1:7, I guess. No. Hindi ko alam. I forgot. So there is an ideal ratio between police officer, between the community. And tayo, sobra-sobra, Baka higit 100, higit 100 pa ang ratio. So, kaya ba, for example, ng isang police officer na bantayan ang isang 100 citizens? No, hindi niya kaya. So, the ratio itself between community, the citizens, and the police, sobrang unequal. Hindi siya talagang ideal. So, kung idadagdag pa natin yung time na kung saan si police officer kailangan pumunta sa office, mag-report sa office, gumawa ng mga administrative tasks and so on, mas lalo pang mababawasan yung oras na ginugugol ng kapulisan sa paggampan sa kanilang talagang sinumpang tungkulin na panantaliin ang peace and order ng bansa. And with that, the remedy that they had come up was to make or augment the police officers with those trained individuals who will be focusing in doing the administrative tasks. Kaya nga, the creation of the NUP. Para nang sa ganun, mas or mabawasan ang oras ng mga kapulisan natin sa sa pag-stay doon sa station. Rather, they would be outside doing field works, doing patrol, doing consultations, and so on, which would be more efficient compared kung si police officer nandun lang sa office, nakaupo, gumagawa ng police clearance, gumagawa ng report and whatsoever. Kaya nagkaroon tayo ng NUP para sila nang gumawa ng mga administrative tasks na yan at si mga police doon na sila sa field. That would increase the visibility, how do you call this? The presence of the police officers to the society, to the community, and that would benefit the PNP organization and as well as the community as well. Kasi kung maraming kapulisan na nakaaligid dyan, nakapalakad-lakad, paikot-ikot doon sa area, would you think that criminals would still dare to commit the crime, to commit their criminal intent? No. Hindi. Kasi nandyan ang pulis. Wala naman sigurong matinong kriminal na kung saan is gagawa ng krimen sa harap ng pulis or pag may malapit na pulis dyan. Na? So that's the idea behind this. It's one of the program that the PNP had adopted that has a great vision towards the towards improving the relationship between the community and the law enforcement. Kasi kung mas maraming silang time ginugugol sa community, the community will get to know them, and it could bring back the trust between the community and the police officer. Okay? Next, the fight on alcohol on school campus. Is that a problem? Problema ba yan? No? Kung merong mga lasenggong estudyante, kung merong mga issues na kung saan nagiinom yung mga estudyante sa loob ng school campus, or di kaya naman pumapasok yung mga estudyante na laseng and so on, is that a big deal? Yes, of course. No? Alcohol, it's an addictive substance. It's a depressant. It could affect the perception of those who take alcohol. Pwedeng ang isang lasing na estudyante manggahasa, pumatay, mambugbog, magnakaw. So, what we are trying to do, no, is to eradicate the issues or the existence of alcohol in school campus and its immediate environment. Kaya nga, the law, no, prohibits yung pagbebenta ng alak near school, no, yung pagtatayo ng inuman, no, pagbebenta ng alak sa mga areas malapit sa mga paaralan. Why? Because the government realized, no, that alcoholism and school and education will not go well, no. Kung ang isang tao nalulung na, isang estudyante nalulung na sa alak, no, until the point na mag-drop out na siya, magiging burden, pabigat na naman siya sa community. He could become a problem to the community, ano? So maybe, alcohol is a gateway drug, no? So those who started to learn how to use drugs at early age probably had started consuming alcohol. So we would try to avoid that. That's why yung pinakapunot dulo pa lamang, no, panimula pa lamang na ginagamit nila hanggang sa sila ay ma-addict na, ay doon na natin puputulin agad. There are cases na kung saan talaga the causes of commotion is because some students are drunk. No? And usually nangyayari to sa mga high school, no? Maraming cases na ganyan sa mga high school, sa high school and so on. Sa college, of course, there exists too, no? Meron ding mga ganyan, but I think nakokontrol pa doon, no? Pero sa high school kasi, especially if the school administrator really does not care about these things, does not understand the implication of this, does not understand the seriousness of such thing, mas lalong nagiging malala yung sitwasyon. So that's when the law enforcer, no, could intervene, no, to strengthen, of course, the force, no, in fighting the issues on alcohol on school grounds. No? It's very important. Kaya nga, ano yung mga program na dapat gawin dyan? Education. No? Alternatives to alcohol-oriented events. No? So instead na sila ay pumunta mag-inom, what could you do to avoid these things from happening? No? What programs could you implement na para hindi malulong sa pag-iinom yung mga kabataan na yan? No? Changes in the residence policies. Yeah, we have that already. Di ba? Pinagbawal na. I remember when I was still college, pwede pa yung mga ganyan. Mayroon pang mga bar, inuman sa harap ng school. No, kasi alam nila maraming customer dun mga estudyante. But then later on, there was a law that was enacted, that was passed. Wala na. No, pinaalis na, pinasara na lahat yung mga malalapit na bar sa schools. Which impacted, of course, the students, no? Which impacted the students. Why? Kasi mailalayo pa sila lalo doon sa mga tukso na pwedeng sumira sa kanilang kinabukasan, no? Alcohol education initiatives were targeted response. They are aimed at the specific places, no? They are aimed at a specific problem. So if there are areas talaga, halimbawa na maraming cases of school violence that was caused by alcoholism and so on, yun yung mga dapat tinatarget sa mga ganito, no? Papasara yung mga inuman malalapit, no? Bibigyan ng disiplina. If there is a crime committed, they will be apprehended, mga ganun ba. So, I think the law enforcers, no, should take this into consideration seriously. No? The issues on alcoholism in school grounds and violence related due to alcoholism and so on, those are serious matter. No? Those are serious matter. And if we are going to talk about the increase of criminality within the society. Next is we have here build community of neighborhoods. No? So we're talking about neighborhood watch as we made mention kanina. No? The problem kasi under high migration rate is that hindi magkakakilala, walang closeness, walang ties, kumbaga yung mga magkakapitbahay. And that sometimes is a problem. No? Malaking problema yan. Paano kung may nangyari dyan? Tutulong ba yung kapitbahay mo sa'yo? No? Or are they just going to watch? So that's really an issue. Now, if we have a stronger community, no, who would be willing to protect each other in cases of the existence of these criminalities, no, then that would be better. And that would be beneficial also for the law enforcer kasi mas madali na silang makipag-coordinate, mas madali na silang mag-implement ng kanilang mga programs kung nagkakaisa ang isang community, no, towards the attainment of the same goals. Of course, that is to maintain peace and order. Sino ba naman ang gustong tumira sa mga lugar na kung saan maraming kaguluhang nangyayari, di ba? So, we just need to appeal to the community to have the same goals and be active in promoting such goal. No? So, napakahalaga ng strong community. No? A neighborhood that will watch each other and will help each other whenever the circumstances needs it. Okay? And lastly, we have here the expansion of the community policing. No? What are the different programs that are adopted by the PNP that has something to do with community policing? Yeah. For example, increase officer time available as a result of automated report. Yes, no? We have seen a lot of police officers already on field, no? Meron kahit na sabihin natin, oo, nandyan lang sila sa mga police box nila, nandyan lang sila sa mga patrol car nila na nakaupo, pero at least nakikita na natin sila sa community, no? May mga palakad-lakad dyan ng mga police sa mga palengke, no? May mga nandyan sa mga kalsada, no, tumutulong sa mga local enforcement agencies sa pagmando ng traffic, no. Meron pa minsan nakikita mo naka-deploy sila sa mga shopping mall, no. So at least, no, their presence can be felt by the community, and that's a good thing. And if there is a way to improve that more, no, or to increase the time spent by this police officer to the community, that would be better. Kasi the more the community sees the police officer doing their job, no, in their community, the more that they would be trusting the PNP, the police officers in their problems in relation to peace and order, no. Next, the creation of Citizens Police Academy. Yes, no. There are the police officer are. I mean, there is really a learning institution that is created for the sake of involving the community in training police officers, and also, yeah, well, those who wanted to become police officers could enter into training, could finish education required for the PNP, and they could join also the force, no? So may mga ganyang program na kung saan they're publicly announcing already the how to become one, no? They are encouraging the citizens to join them in their cause, no? Either as a full-fledged member of the enforcement, no, or as an auxiliary, no, force of the enforcement of the law enforcement. So may mga ganyan, it's a good thing naman. Bike patrol, that's aimed to the community, ano, yung bike patrol. Kaya problema kasi pag nagpapatrol sila at nakasakay sila, no? Wala masyadong interaction with the community, correct? Kasi mabilis lang yung sasakyan eh. Dadaan lang yan. Wala masyadong usap-usap, walang pansinan. So, kumbaga is less interaction. But maybe if nasa foot patrol naman sila, of course there's a lot of interaction, no? Kasi mabagal yung kanilang paglalakad, no? Mas nakikita sila ng community and mas maraming interaction ang mangyayari. The community, the citizens will get to know them better if the time permits. However, in responding to a crime, syempre mabagal yun kasi kumbaga, naglalakad lang sila eh. If there is a crime, for example, 1 kilometer away, no, medyo matatagalan bago sila makarating doon. No? Tatakbuhin pa nila yun and whatsoever. So the inclusion of the speed and the interaction, as we have stated, which is two of the most important part of the community patrol. No, dapat meron kang bilis, pero meron ka pa ring interaction. Yan. I think the most effective one to that is bike patrol, since they have the speed in case they need to respond into some places, and if they wanted to slow down for a bit, no, magbagalan nila to interact with the community, with the citizens, they can do it too. So bike patrol is one of the great product of the expansion of the community policing program the PNP had adopted. I wish there are more, no? Kasi hindi lahat kasi ng lugar, no, nakikita natin yung mga unit na ito, yung bike patrol na to. Now, karamihan pa rin either they are on foot, they are on motorcycle, or they are on vehicle. Now, bike patrol, matagal nang inimplemento, but not all areas in our country, not all municipalities. I don't know in your municipalities if may napapansin kayong mga bike patrol, no? Marami, baka mamaya yung nakikita nyo, akala nyo bike patrol, it was just a hobby pala na nagbabike lang na pulis. They should be in their uniform doing patrol duties and so on. Yun yung talagang bike patrol. In urban areas, marami yung mga bike patrol na yan. Pero sa mga areas na kung saan medyo, alam nyo na, hindi naman ganoon ka-progresibo, konti lang yung nakikita natin or napapansin natin ng mga ganyan. So they should try to, paramihin pa yung mga ganito. It's very beneficial actually. Establishment of the neighborhood watch program through the community, that's true, no? Meron tayong mga operational plan created by the PNP that is aiming to, i-report kay mamang police, no? Yung mga kahina-hinalang kaganapan, di ba? Sa drugs nga, for example, kung meron kang nakikitang gumagamit ng drugs within your neighborhood, pwede mong i-report yan, bibigyan ka pa ng pabuya. Ayan. Kung may mga criminal organization kang na-report, pwede kang mabigyan ng pabuya. So those are some of the neighborhood watch programs na pwedeng i-adapt or in-adapt na ng PNP na makakatulong talaga para ma-build yung tinatawag nating pagkakaisa between the community and between the police officer. No? Mahirap kasi pag tinotolerate ni citizen yung mga criminal activities. No? Kaya pag may kahina-hina lang nangyayari dyan sa lugar ninyo, don't hesitate to call the law enforcers, no? Kasi they know what to do. Hindi mo alam, baka sabihin, wala akong pakialam dyan, baka madamay pa ako. Pwede ka talagang madamay. Remember that crime, no, does not respect anybody. Huwag mo sabihin, hindi ako madadamay dyan kasi mayaman ako. Hindi ako mabibiktima ng krimen dahil lalaki ako. Hindi ako mabibiktima ng krimen dahil babae ako and whatsoever. That's not the thing, no? It's everybody's concern. That's why kung may kahinahinala doon sa lugar, i-report mo. Hindi mo alam, baka mamaya ikaw ang mabiktima. No? Tama pala hinala mo, ikaw pa na biktima. So yun yung mga ina-avoid natin. That's why help the police officer, no? Help the law enforcer in doing their job. If there's things that, kasi hindi lahat nakikita nila sa community. Dapat ang magsilbing mata at tenga ng police sa community is yung mga citizens mismo, no? Para maging mas effective sila. No? That's why expansion nga ng community policing na tinatawag. Next is we have here the redeployment of officers, school resources resource officers within the school system. That's true. I made mention this in terms of alcoholism in school, bullying in school, vandalism in school, and so on. With the increasing number of violence in school grounds, no, there is really a need, no, na sumali na ang law enforcement, ang PNP organization doon sa school system. Kailangan nandun na sila, meron na silang interaction, participation sa school system. Maging stakeholder na rin sila ng school. I mean, to the point that they should actively participate in either policy making, no, enforcing of the rules, mga ganun. Dapat meron silang active participation. Hindi lang kasi security guard, minsan pa ang security guard ng school, iisa lang, no? Dapat talaga andun din nakiki-intervene, medal rin ang school sa mga ganitong ang police officer sa mga ganitong issues kasi these are the breeding grounds, no? Don't let school be the breeding grounds of criminality. Okay? So under the expanded community policing program, this one should be adopted also. Okay? So those are the things under innovative policing. If you notice, no, some of them are addressed already by the PNP, some of them are yet to be addressed, no, and some of them really has a very valid argument, no. I think if this will be addressed properly, there would be a better community and police helping each other. The community will be much better if the community, if the citizens of the community and the police officers are helping each other in attaining one goal, that is to preserve peace and order. Okay? So that's the end of the lecture that I had prepared for everyone today. I do hope you learned something. If you have question, pwede na kayong magtanong, guys. May tanong ba? Meron?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much, Gemma. Okay, so anyway, kung meron kayong mga tanong, may sabi ko nga, baka bigla na lang mapaisip kayo, meron kayong gustong itanong, feel free, no? Hindi man tayo ganun kagaling sumagot sa mga tanong, but I'll try my very best, of course, to address your queries. Okay? So for those who have internet problem connectivity, hindi ko alam kung naging clear yung aking discussion. Just wait for the uploads na lang. And I noticed konti lang nag-attend ngayon, ano? So, teka lang, mag-check tayo ng attendance kasi kukunti kayo, ah. Wait.
May ilag ako hindi lang sa...
Ha? May mga iba, guys,
na Islam, sir.
paulit.
Hinaw yung internet, sir. Magkasama sila isang lugar, sir.
Okay. Sige. Sige, pa-comment. Ay, siguro ano na lang. Pa-kuha na lang sa GC. Pa-notify na lang sa GC yung magkakasama. Kasi kanina, nakita ko meron ngayong mga, magkakasama sa, isang account. Okay, so, yan. I do hope, anyway, as I was looking naman onto the result of your prelim, no? Medyo nahihirapan lang ako mag-check sa essay kasi yung connectivity talaga nakarely siya doon. But with regards to multiple choice, okay naman, no? Matataas naman yung score. I really hope that you are really learning from what we are talking about, ano? My end goal is of course for you to have at least an average understanding on the topic. Hindi ko naman inaasam na talagang sobrang talino ninyo dito sa topic natin, but sapat na pare-parehas sana tayong may idea with regards to the things that we are talking about. Kasi who knows, no? Malay nyo, iba sa inyo dyan, maging general in the future, no? Maging high-ranking officer ng police, no? Sa future or sa kahit anumang agency or maging politicians, it's important to take note of these things that we are discussing now. Kasi one of the problem of why our society, our country is not progressing, it's because of the rampant criminality in our country. That's true. No? Sobrang rampant ng criminality sa ating bansa, nakawan, corruption, no? Pangungutong, abuses, and so on. And that is why it's really hard to progress as a community if we still have that. So maybe it's a food for your food for the thoughts, not food for the brain. Okay, so I guess that I guess that's it. No? I am very much thankful if I'm very much thankful for you attending our synchronous lecture on a short notice. Thank you all for attending. See you on the next lecture. Bye bye.
Bye, sir. Bye, sir.